is beautiful, prosperous, and it should be for everybody. From 2011 to 2016, our manifesto was on peace, unity, and transformation for prosperity. In 2016-2021, we had a manifesto on steady progress, and 2021-2026, the manifesto that we are winding was speaking about securing your future. Today's manifesto that we are launching, the theme is protecting the gains as we make qualitative leap into higher middle income status. From all these themes, you will see how intentional and systematically NRM has been, that we kept building one after another. And that is why today we speak about the gains and consolidating these gains. If I may briefly speak about the performance of 2021-2026 manifesto, Your Excellency and members, the NRM has just concluded implementing the 2021-2026 manifesto and the theme Securing Your Future. It was a statement of intent towards meaningful growth and development of Uganda, eliminating the obstacles of poor infrastructure, high cost of capital, high cost of energy, reducing the cost of doing business, ensuring political stability, tackling backwardness, and fighting against corruption, leading to competitive economy. The NRM believes in transparency and accountability as the hallmark of good leadership. As we seek a fresh mandate, we would like to present our accountability for our time in government and to seek the mandate of Ugandans for another term. In this Kisanja that we are concluding, we have been able to do the following in brief. The details are in the books that you've got, but allow me to highlight these few areas. You will get. It asks us to be launched before you get. That is how it is supposed to be. The size of the economy doubled in spite of the global shocks such as COVID-19 and disruption in external markets. By the end of the financial year 2025-2026, the size of the economy is projected to expand to shillings 254.2 trillion, which is $66.1 billion. From the $61 billion which was in 2024-2025. We congratulate the government of Uganda for implementing our manifesto well. Right, Honorable Prime Minister, we are very grateful for the work you have done. Ugandans are wealthier because poverty has declined from 21.4% in 2016 to 16.1% by 2025. While the proportion of households engaged in subsistence economy fell from 68.9% in 2010 to 33.1% by 2023-2024. The cost of living has as well been managed as prices of basic utilities like sugar, fuel, soap, and salt have either remained unchanged or reduced. NRM has a track record of prudent management of price stability, which has made Uganda one of the least costly and price predictable countries. Jobs are back after recovery from COVID effect. Our job market was remarkably hit by COVID-19. However, we are happy to report that due to the prudent economic measures, new jobs are being created. Our jobs have increased from 258,286 in financial year 2020-2021 to 345,039 jobs. The shillings has been the most stable currency in Africa. During the financial year 2024 to 2025, our shilling gained value as many other currencies lost theirs. Factories have increased to an estimate of 50,000. from 37,559 in 2029-2020. This industrial growth is driven by investments in industrial parks. We thank His Excellency for preaching about industrial parks. Total export earnings from goods and services reached US $13.3 billion in financial year 2024-2025, of which US $10.6 billion was earned from export of goods only. Key exports include gold, coffee, manufacturing products, cocoa beans, milk products, basic metals, sugar, fish and fish products, ceramic tiles, wood and plywood, and so on and so forth. You'll get the details in the document. Electricity generation capacity rose from 2,051 megawatts in 2024 it rose to 2,051 megawatts in 2024 from 1,839 megawatts in 2019. With completion of Karuma, Isima, and other electricity generating facilities. With this, we have increased our capacity to power our industrialization and connected more Ugandans to the national grid. The tourism sector made a strong rebound. The number of tourists arriving recovered to 1.37 million in 2024 from 473,885 from 2020. Tourism earnings have grown by 13.1% to US $1.352 billion in the last 12 months. In the past 10 years, we have invested over 11 trillion in key wealth initiatives like PDM, Emioga, and others. These initiatives have contributed to poverty reduction from 56.4% in 1992 to 16% by 2024. We have cut down the numbers of households in subsistence economy by more than a half, from 68% in 2014 to 33% in 2024. Ugandans are living longer, happier than before. Life expectancy at birth has improved to 68 years from 45 years in 1986. Mothers are no longer dying from childbirth-related complications like they used to do. The overall maternal mortality rate has reduced from about 44%, from 336 deaths per 1,000 live birth to 189 per 100,000 live birth in the last 10 years. The number of children dying before their first birthday has significantly reduced. Infant mortality rate has reduced from 122 deaths per 1,000 live birth in 1986 to 28 deaths per 1,000 live birth in 2024. This is way below the average of sub-Saharan Africa, which is at 42 deaths per 1,000 live birth. We thank the Minister of Health for these wonderful records. Malaria incidence reduced by 24% from 302 per 1,000 population to 230 per 1,000 population over the past 5 years. Through NRM, Universal Primary Education Program, Uganda children are going to school, and the national literacy rate has risen to 74% in 2024 from 43, which was in 1986. The enrollment rate in government-aided primary schools increased to 9.1 million learners by 2025, up from 2.5 million, which was in 1996. The national road network is in better condition. The road network that is tarmac has increased to 6,288 kilometers from 1,000 kilometers, which was in 1986. As a result of Uganda becoming wealthier, they are living in better houses. Uganda housing stock has increased from 6.53 million units in 2014 to 7.99 million units in 2024, with the proportion of households living in grass-thatched houses decreasing from 37.6% to 25% in the same period. Ugandans can now access safe and clean water. Currently, 68% of population in the rural within the walking distance of 500 meters and 71% in urban areas within a walking distance of 200 meters have access to clean and safe water. At village level, the number of villages with a safe water, with a safe, clean and affordable water supply system increased from 38,809 villages to, in 2021, excluding Kampala Capital City Authority, to 57.313 villages out of 71,210 villages in 2025, which is about 81% water coverage. Uganda is peaceful and stable. In spite of the above achievements, there remains unfinished businesses that we intend to resolve in this next term. The notable ones are creating wealth for the remaining 33% of the households still in subsistence production, because 3 in 10 families are either still stuck in subsistence farming and not benefiting from the money economy, or are engaged in non-profitable enterprises. Resolving land use rights, ownership and fragmentation that remain a barrier to commercial farming and proper land use. Adding value to agriculture and minerals before exporting them. Currently, we are donating 80% of our value and jobs to the rest of the world by exporting raw materials. We need to develop more tourism sites to improve our economy. We need to invest in irrigation and fertilizer to stabilize agriculture and enhance productivity. We are currently over-relying on rain-fed agriculture and our soils are depleted. We have to continue investing in science and technology and innovation to unlock industrial growth and increase productivity. We need to reduce the cost of doing business by increasing investments in the transport infrastructure, reducing the cost of electricity, and increasing access to affordable long-term capital to support private sector growth and competitiveness. We need to continue constructing the pipelines for refining products to get the fuel tankers out of the road. We need to complete the standard gauge railways and rehabilitation of the master gauge railways. We need to continue reducing unemployment and underemployment among our young people by increasing labor productivity, gainful employment and skilling. We need to continue eliminating corruption in government and private sector. We need to increasingly access the international and regional export markets, such as the East African Community Market for MESA and AFCFTA, by addressing tariffs and non-tariff barriers. We need to increase domestic revenue mobilization to fund national priorities. Our revenue to GDP ratio has stagnated between 13 to 14%. Investing in our cities, including Greater Kampala metropolitan area, with modern infrastructure, affordable housing, and other facilities should be one of our priorities in the next decennium. We need to continue investing in more industrial parks and export zones to increase industrialization, create jobs, substitute imports, and increase exports. We need to be investing in creative arts industries, sports, talents, development and wealth creation, and youth employment. Comrades, we need to keep expanding affirmative action programs to attain social equity and ensure no Ugandan is left behind. We need to keep enhancing quality of healthcare and education. On education, the issue of charging parents' fees in UP and USE schools that are already funded by government should stop. In health, the issue within the Ministry of Health, we need to fight the theft of medicine and laxity among health workers. We need to continue dealing with environmental degradation and climate change. The above notwithstanding, the national resistance movement has defended Uganda with meager resources in the past. We now have greater means and resources to lift the country into a higher middle income status. Allow me to run you through the key thematical areas of the next manifesto we have that we are launching today. The theme of this manifesto is protecting our gains. It resonates with the NRM historical mission of guaranteeing Ugandans prosperity and security. This manifesto is structured along 5 core themes where our efforts will be centered. These are: we are promoting growing economy and creating wealth. We are pledging more infrastructural development. We are talking more about investing in human capital. We are speaking more about democracy, good governance, and security. We are pledging more commitment towards regional integration and political federations. On growing the economy, in line with our principles of socio-economic transformation, this theme addresses the following. 1, we want full monetization of the economy. 2, we are speaking about agricultural production and productivity. We are talking about water for production, adding value to raw materials. We are speaking about the oil and gas sector, and we are promoting value to tourism development and investing in science and technology and innovation. We are speaking about investing in young people. Our cumulative promises in the section is to completely eliminate spectators in the incoming generation campaigns. In the next 5 years, we will boost the wealth creation campaigns by, for example, increasing PDM funding to Greater Kampala Metropolitan to shillings 300 million per ward stroke parish, and will provide an additional grant of 500,000 shillings over the above 1 million shillings provided by PDM to households headed by persons with disabilities. We are also providing 15 million shillings to village elected leaders in a parish and a separate fund to religious leaders. In order to improve on agricultural production and productivity, we shall set up a fertilizer fund to support farmers to access fertilizers. These efforts will mobilize all Ugandans to become productive, to become producers of either a good or a service to increase job. Under infrastructure, we promote economic growth and development, and economic growth and development cannot be achieved without a robust infrastructure. This theme provides our commitments towards 1, transport, which are roads, railway, and air. We are committed to invest more in energy for sustainable growth and affordable housing. On water transport especially, we shall establish new ferry services at Busi Island in Wakiso, Kome to Damba Highland in Mukono, Nangoma to Kasensero, Albert Nile Ferry, Lake Kwania ferries and landing facilities. We are speaking about that also in Amuro, Rhino Camp Ferry and landing facilities and procure a ferry for Chamuswa Kalanga. Our investment in infrastructure development will aim to guarantee low cost of doing business by providing cheap electricity, cheap transport, cheap internet. This was our wealth creator. This way, our wealth creator will earn good profits to save the investment more. We want to invest more in the people, especially the young people. Our focus is on building a more skilled and science-oriented labor force to support manufacturing and innovation. The theme covers our commitment to the provision of education, health, water, natural resources, and climate change. In the next 5 years, we will continue to implement reforms in the school curriculum at all levels to ensure that our institutions of learning produce more job creators rather than job seekers. We will ensure that the school curriculum is aligned with the demands of the job market. We will build more schools and hospitals and recruit more health workers. And 49,406 teachers will be recruited. We will progressively enhance salaries for civil servants, including arts teachers, so they should not be striking at this time. On democracy and good governance, as I move towards conclusion, the democratic credentials of NRM are unquestionable. Under this theme, we present commitments in the areas of deepening democracy, decentralization, fighting corruption, securing life and property, promoting justice, law and order, labor and employment, affirmative action initiatives. We talk of NUSAF, PRDP, cattle restocking and compensation, and land governance. We will continue to entrench the principles of good governance, democracy, equality before the law, as we promote zero tolerance to corruption. We promise to continue securing the lives and property of all Ugandans by preventing and combating all threats to our peace and security. On regional integration and political federations, in line with our principles of Pan-Africanism, we have, under this section, made commitments to prosperity, securing fraternity of the African people. In the next term, we will continue to support implementation of activities leading to East African Community Federation, including the promulgation of the East African Constitution, work within the East African framework to establish the single East African currency, and work with other East African community members and countries to eliminate all non-tariff barriers within the region. Finally, we urge all Ugandans to read and internalize the wonderful programs outlined in the NRM manifesto. We trust that this manifesto is the umbrella principles and umbrella thinking of we, the NRM members. The details of other promises are in the books that you'll see, where we have given detailed pledges on key issues and items. I will invite my comrade Moses Birohanga to give a few of the highlights of the areas that we are continuing to pledge and promise. But before I invite him, allow me to introduce members of PLU who are here. Comrade Kabanda, the Secretary General of PLU, but we have joined forces. We are working together and moving together as a team. And we say, the Pan-Africanists say, many fronts but one struggle. So we are all scoring in the same basket. And thank you so much for coming. Comrades, may we welcome Moses Birohanga, who is going to give us a brief of the key areas that we have made as pledges in the summary we have made, but the details of this are in the manifesto that our national chairman is going to launch shortly. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. After Moses, I will invite the second national vice chairman of the party, chairperson of the party, to come and give a few remarks. And then the first national vice chairperson will come and give his remarks and invite our national chairman to speak and launch the manifesto. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my young brother, Richard. The Secretary General has basically summarized the entire manifesto. I want to thank him on behalf of our committee that when Your Excellency delegated him to chair the committee of the manifesto drafting, because he had many other assignments of planning for whatever we are going through, he also assigned me to chair on his behalf, and we have had a good working relationship. Thank you, Honorable Todong. Basically, the manifesto starts with a message from the chairperson. The speech which the chairperson used at Kololo is we have it as a message from the chairperson, which summarizes the entire manifesto. The president talked about 7 areas: the peace, development, wealth, services, ICT, market, and strategic security. That now summarizes the entire manifesto. We just went into details of that. But what the Secretary did not left out was that, for instance, on agriculture, our target is to continue with the research, to focus on research, productivity through irrigation, and creating a fertilizer fund where people can go and borrow at a low interest rate and invest in the use of fertilizer. On research, our scientists at Naro, they need to be applauded. They have come up with an anti-tick vaccine, and they are working on foot and mouth disease vaccine. They're also working on the swine fever vaccine. Those last two, they are still doing the research, but for the anti-tick vaccine, their research has been found useful. Government has already spent money for them to build and construct and equip a factory at Nakesesa. I think they had told us they would begin commercial production of the anti-tick vaccine in October this year.